Guess what, Nick?
We're live.
We're live, buddy. What's going on, man?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Good week.
Yeah, you know.
Everything going on. Man, we had fun this week.
It seems like we just...
My goodness.
We just keep getting busier and busier, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a great feeling. I mean, we're really lucky that we get to be working right now, for sure.
We are. What's some highlights of your weekend?
The weddings we got to do together, that was fantastic, man. We got to do 2 weddings together this week. David had the triple.
Well, yeah, you know, so you know what's funny is we had a wedding on Halloween, and
you had a wedding on
Halloween. Well, I did.
Yeah.
And nobody dressed up in costume whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a wedding the following night on November 1st, and almost everybody dressed up in costume for that one.
That one was so fun.
Go figure, right?
Yeah. But great weekend, man.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
it was good. Outside of that, man, I've just been kind of chilling, and it's been a good week.
It's been a great week, man.
Yeah,
for sure. Good stuff coming up.
We definitely have some great things coming up. So, want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. As always, look at there. Oh, look at there. Love Sunday's wedding. That means it's somebody watching. That must be somebody that was with us.
Well,
maybe
whoever is watching, I have a teaser video coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be a good video, I bet. But we should have dressed up. I think, is this Katie? It might be. It might be Katie.
We should have dressed up. That would have been a lot of fun.
So, ironically, this is always great when this happens, guys. So, if you're commenting, sadly, we cannot really see who you are unless you give StreamYard permission to show your name and your likeness on the little comment box there. And you can do that in the comments. If you go all the way up to the top of this post, there should be the last paragraph that says give StreamYard permission. There we go. Oh, look at here. We've got Carol. Hey, Carol.
Thank you.
Hey, Carol, thanks for joining us. And we've got some folks that are going to be here with N.A.M.E tonight as well. And look at here. Hey, David, hope you're doing well. Professor Jam, thank you, Professor Jam. I hope you're doing well also. Hope everybody's excited and jazzed up for tonight. There's a lot of good things going on tonight. And, you know, so this is just going to be a good time together. So
we're going to have fun.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have fun. But, guys, put that, give StreamYard permission to show your name so we know who you are. And if you have comments, if you have questions, please be sure to ask those. Please be sure to make those. Oh, I almost forgot. How can I forget this?
How could we forget?
One day, maybe these guys will sponsor us. Maybe,
one day.
Maybe.
Dr. Pepper. Any representatives from Dr. Pepper, if you're listening to this?
If you know anybody that works for Dr. Pepper,
we'd love a sponsor.
Let them know that we are avid Dr. Pepper drinkers. Yep. And this is about the cheesiest thing in the world. Like, we're literally cheersing sodas instead of...
We're nerds.
Wait, is that a word? Cheersing?
Toasting.
Oh, sure.
We're toasting sodas.
Right. So we're toasting sodas.
Because we are dorks.
But it's oh so damn good.
Yeah.
And please don't spill it on the mix board.
We'll try not to. That's going to be the running joke for the entire eternity of our
Put it somewhere where you won't spill it, please.
That'd be funny if I actually knocked it over.
No, it would not be funny. It's already happened once. All right. So real quickly, tonight is a great night because we're live tonight in the National Association of Mobile Entertainers page. This is new for us tonight, right?
Exciting,
so we're in there tonight. Hopefully the great folks and members of that are having a chance to watch tonight. We're in DJs Helping DJs. We're in the DJs Vault public group. We're in Wedding Business Growth. We are also
We're in lots of groups.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to spread the love without getting hurt, right?
Spread the love and continue to grow the community and be together.
We're also on the Wedding Business Growth YouTube channel. By the way, if you've not gone to the Wedding Business Growth YouTube channel, please go there and subscribe. We would love for you to subscribe for us. And some people tell us it's cheesy to say that, but you know what? I don't mind being cheesy, honestly, because we want the love. We want your love, and we want to give you our love.
We got some cool videos coming up too. Some really, really neat stuff that we have planned out. So it's going to be super high quality.
Absolutely,
pretty good. So,
and we can't forget about our Twitch channel. So if you're into Twitch, we're also Wedding Business Growth on Twitch. So what I'm trying to say is, there's nowhere you can't watch us. There's so many opportunities, there's so many places to look for us. There's no way you can't see us, and there's no way you can't see the great people that are a part of this, what we call Wedding Business Growth. And just if you're a first-time watcher and you're not really sure what this is all about, basically Nick and I, our goal is to provide guests and provide content to help you build your business, whether you're in the wedding business, whether you're in the events industry, some way, shape, or form. I have been a DJ for the last 20 plus years of my life. Nick is a videographer and has been for the past 20 months of his life. No.
Literally, about maybe.
It might be about
in
that.
business. Let's say in business.
Yeah,
I've been doing videos since I was in like high school.
Yeah,
but
and so we have a lot of fun. We also have a podcast together called the Rookie and the Vet podcast, which is a lot of fun. It's really approaching a lot of entrepreneurship from the standpoint of the rookie, and the shark. Or the vet.
Swimming around.
Just doing shark stuff.
No, but the Rookie and the Vet podcast is more like the come up. We talk about those kind of success stories, and it's really great motivational content out there as well. So, but honestly, I mean, I'm just glad to be here, doing what we're doing and spreading the love. So
I'm glad to have you here.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you here. So let's jump right into our topic tonight. I think we're ready. I think we've done enough schmoozing and bruising. Chatting and chitting, and let's get into this thing, because I know a lot of people got a lot of stuff to pay attention to later on tonight. You know what I mean, right? That being said, question for those out there, if you're watching right now, I'm curious to know if you are a member of any kind of national organization representation of your industry, albeit if you're a wedding planner, are you a part of like maybe ABC? If you're a DJ, are you part of N.A.M.E? If you're a videographer,
you should be part of. Well, there's a conference. It's called N.A.M.E. It's like a huge video conference,
and I'm sure that they have
associations,
as well. So in the comments, guys, just let us know if you're a member of a national or a local association or some sort of organization. Just curious out there, those of you guys that are watching, just curious what you might be a member of. We're going to talk a little bit tonight with one of the board members from the National Association of Mobile Entertainers, or the acronym N.A.M.E. One of the two major representations of the mobile DJ industry, an organization that I've been very proud to be a part of for many, many years. I actually was recently invited to be on the board of directors, which I'm excited about doing that, and very humbled and appreciative to have the opportunity to be a part of that. And so we are going to be talking to one of the board members tonight to tell us a little bit more about N.A.M.E. and about the benefits and why you would probably want to be a part of N.A.M.E., especially if you're in the DJ segment of the event industry. But they also offer some other benefits that may be worthwhile to somebody who's not a DJ.
Yeah,
actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and the thing about it is, even though we're kind of talking a little bit about a DJ association, I really want our viewers tonight to understand that a lot of the things that we're going to be talking to with Matt about today are equally applicable in all the segments of the event industry. Again, wedding planners have the ABC organization, photographers have theirs, DJs, video guys, everybody has theirs.
Food for thought. And hopefully by the end of this, you'll be encouraged and motivated to go out and find yours, your niche or whatever you need for your segment.
Well, at the end of the day, this time more than ever is where we need to be a part of something that is going to help build us up.
Yep.
Just about the majority of all of us that are in the event industry, a large segment of us that are in the event industry, are independent business owners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of us are struggling, or a lot of people in the industry are struggling with dealing with something I mean, we can't avoid it, right? Like I don't really like talking about it anymore, but we can't really avoid it. Oh, here's my dude. Hey, what's up, Lincoln?
Thanks, brother.
What's up, brother?
Thanks
we missed you the last couple weeks, Lincoln. I hope you've been safe, man. We missed seeing you the last couple weeks, but thanks for checking in. But people are nervous. People are worried about some areas, and I know Matt's going to get into this a little bit as well. Some areas are still not allowed to do events, or there's limitations on what they can do and things like that. Well, I mean, we've been very fortunate in our area.
Yeah,
some would say fortunate. From a professional standpoint, we've been fortunate. To be able to get back out and work.
Right, and I mean, I have friends in New York and California and other places who are just baffled at the fact that we are even doing events. I told someone I had 2 weddings this week, and they were like, "What?" So we're very lucky and blessed, but
I think you're right. So let's dive right in here. We're going to bring Matt on to join us. Here he is, sir. Matt Peters. How are you, buddy? Good
Thanks
to see
for being
you.
on.
Guys, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good
evening and welcome.
Matt, you are located in Massachusetts.
Yep.
Shameless plug, Boston Red Sox fan right here. always have been, always will be.
That's awesome.
How are things? First of all, how's the weather up in Massachusetts?
A little bit cold. We're about 42 degrees out right now tonight. Last night we got down to 19, and we actually had snow falling yesterday. So winter is coming.
Yep. Oh my God! The last time I'd want to be anything 19 was when I was just out of high school. If you know what I'm saying. Like I would not want to be in anything 19 at this point. That is crazy. Let's see. Lincoln said, been good, just been busy and possibly trying to build a team right now before moving forward with making a company business name for myself. Just need to find the right steps of doing so. Man, that's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, happy to
Lincoln,
hear that.
Right? Congratulations
that's really
on
awesome.
that, man. And whatever we can do to help you out, we're here for you. We're here to support you, Lincoln.
I was checking out his stream on Twitch. Shameless plug to him.
Yeah.
Oh, phenomenal stream, brother. It was so fun. I was listening to some of the throwback music. So, oh no, it was great.
Yeah, Lincoln killing it on Twitch, man.
Definitely.
So Matt, up in that 19 degrees Massachusetts, let's set the tone a little bit if we can first. How are things looking as far as work-wise? What are you guys facing? What are you guys dealing with up there right now?
It's actually looking pretty dismal, actually. As of yesterday afternoon, our governor actually declared that we're retracting back a few stages. We are set to go into 3-2 or 3-3 for the opening phases, and that's now gone. Any large venues, any weddings, any banquet facilities, any restaurants, bars, any event, nightclub entertainment is now off the books and gone. Bars cannot open. They actually just decrease the size. Any gathering that you have is 10 family members and 10 family members only.
Wow.
No outside guests, no outside visitors. If you don't live with the people, you're not supposed to be hanging out with them. They just actually suggested a proposed curfew as well. As of 10 o'clock at night till 5 o'clock in the morning, it's ghost town. We're on lockdown.
That's unbelievable.
They have suggested lockdown so no bars can open. And effective as of this coming Friday, all bars or any restaurants or establishments that serve alcohol are to be closed at 9:30 in the evening so that their employees can get home for 10 o'clock at night. And from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning, doesn't matter what day of the week it is, doesn't matter what night, everything's shut down.
That's unbelievable.
That's unreal.
That's
unreal.
That's sick.
Just real quickly before we address that, Lincoln, appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm confused. No, we appreciate you for tuning in.
Yeah, definitely so, Lincoln.
And we'll check you later.
Thanks,
and then I don't want to say first time guest because he's always a guest, but who knows where he's checking in from now?
I think he's checking in from Orlando, bro.
He's like the traveling. He's like the traveling DJ right now.
The wandering DJ, man. I love it.
Oh, the wandering, even better. The wandering DJ.
Yeah.
So Matt, man, that has got to be tough.
That's what I really feel for you people up there, man. I mean, that's really tough.
I don't even know what to say about that. Like, that's scary. So how? I know this is a loaded question, but kind of put in perspective, how is that affecting your business at this point? I mean, without stating the obvious, like how is that affecting your business right now?
Well, it's devastating and it's definitely tough. And the thing to think about is, and I was going to talk about this a little bit later on about how we're actually dealing with it. But the thing is this whole thing, and again, I know you guys had mentioned earlier, we're going to talk about it, but very important. Did you do this today?
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Please, if you have not done so already, if you have the chance to go out and vote today, please do. And I just want to touch real briefly on that idea right there. It doesn't matter who wins. It doesn't matter if your presidential elect wins or not. Can we just do me a favor? And this is for every American. This is for everyone out there. Let's treat each other with kindness, respect, dignity, and humanity. And I think right now that's really what it's all about. Forget if you win or you lose tonight, or your election goes the way you want it to or not. It's how can we move forward as a nation? How can we move forward together as Americans? What can we do moving forward to better ourselves, our industry, and just our general life? And I know, Dave, that hits home with you, and Nick, I'm sure it hits home with you as well. Following your podcast and following your streams and things, it's how we treat others and how we deal with others. And I'll be honest, what happened to me was back on March 15th, I had everything going perfectly well. I was having a record year. Everything was going fantastic. Everything was going great. I went from being booked solid to bored silly within 2 days. Wow. And what happened was I went to work on Friday, March 13th. By Monday, March 15th, I lost everything. I lost every annual event that I had, school fundraisers, spring fundraisers, annual events that I've been doing for 10, 15, even 20 years. I've been a DJ for 32 years, and I never thought we would be in the situation that we're in right now in the state of Massachusetts. I went from, everybody, no matter what happens in your life, people always want to experience a party. They always want to celebrate life. They always want to celebrate something. So DJing was great when I went into it back in the late 80s. late 80s, early 90s, there was parties galore. You could go anywhere. Any night of the week can have a party or festivity or a gathering of your friends and family members, coworkers, whatever. Whether it was a wedding, Jack and Jill, bar and bat mitzvah, corporate party, private party, personal party, school parties, dances. One of the things I did consistently for the past 12 years was I hosted a weekly car show, which is a cruise night. And that was on Monday evenings. So I went from Thursday evening to Monday evenings, book solid, me personally having anywhere from 3 to 8 events each weekend. And I never had time. And people always say, you're so busy, you're so busy, you're so busy. How are you dealing it? It was taking each event and customizing each event to the client's needs and wishes. And that was really important. And the thing that separates is, yes, it's true, all DJs and any type of entertainer, we're all doing the same thing. But it's how we're doing it that makes the difference. It's how people come to you and want to hire your services or your entertainment services for their event. Yes, we all have the same music. Yes, we all have the same gear. But what are we doing personally? And one of the things I always told my clients was, don't think of me as hired help. When you hire Peterson Productions or you hire us, think of us as a friend and a family member. Now, this is real key because this is really important. People will always do business with people they trust, they respect, and that they feel comfortable with. Let's face it, guys. I know, Nick, you're newer to the industry, but Dave, you've been around for about 20 years, 15 or 20 years, and you've seen things. We get to celebrate with people during the best and worst times of their life. Okay. While that happens as well as we celebrate with people during the best of times, we also have to be there during the worst of times. And that has come up in my career many times where I've even pivoted and changed and went through what was called not necessarily funeral, but life celebrations. Mm-hmm. That was one of the things I did. You don't want to think about, raking someone to the coals and taking a bunch of money. It's not about that. If you can do an event for somebody, go out, do the event, do the best that you can, and entertain those families and their family, and everybody's going to refer back to you time and time again. And that's what I was lucky to benefit from. I had years and years and years, annual events that kept coming back. I was doing some events for 10, 15, 20 years. And as of, when COVID-19 hit, when the coronavirus hit, that all went belly up. I was getting 6 to 12 or 15 phone calls or emails each day. Can we reschedule? Can we cancel? What can we do? How do we do this? How do we do that? And it was, from a financial standpoint, it was tough for me. I'm a single operator. I'm the owner. I'm the entrepreneur. I'm the host. I'm the main DJ. Yes, I have a few people who subcontract with me, and yes, I have assistants, people that come out and help me. But I am the sole owner of this business. So I had to look at where my business was going and what I could do. And what happened was, once March came around, it was like, okay, what are we going to do moving forward? How can we do things? The first thing I did, and I was going to talk to this later, but the first thing I did was actually got in touch with each and every client that I had. And I got in touch with them and asked what they were thinking about doing for their event. If they were moving forward with their event, we tried to reschedule at all possibilities, okay? But if they had to cancel their event, did you refund their money back? Did you hold on to it? What did you do? And again, this is very personal because if you don't believe in that and you're not able to write that check out to that client, consider that you're going to get a bunch of bad publicity and bad press, okay? If you're not there to help and be beneficial to your clients, you're not going to have a very long career in the entertainment industry, okay? There's no loyalty whatsoever. And I don't mean to be a downer on that, but it's what you put into it that you get out of it. If you hustle, bustle, and bust your butt every single day and go after those clients, the clients will come back. I'm not saying that DJing or the entertainment field or industry is done. I definitely think that we have to change how we move forward with things and do things. I had to go back and talk to each and every one of my clients and decide and try to figure out what I could do to help them out and how to move their business forward. I was fortunate enough to reschedule a lot of the events. I'd say about 75% of events I was able to reschedule or go and say, okay, we're going to do it for you next year or when it comes around. But as this goes on, now we're entering the 8th month of this in Massachusetts. It's getting tougher and tougher and tougher because what's happening is the clients are changing their events or canceling their events all over. If you can, the average wedding in Massachusetts was anywhere from 150 to say 225 people. I said that was the average amount of weddings. And then the medium, small were 75 to 125 people on average. Well, now you can only have 25 people. It doesn't matter if you're indoors, outdoors, or anything. Last month it was 100 people to 50. Now you're down to 25 people indoors or outdoors. It doesn't matter.
It's crazy.
So what happened was,
tough, Matt.
yeah, we had to pivot and change. And it was like, okay, yes, I can go out, and I've been fortunate enough to do events with 10 to 15, even 20,000 people. Okay. I've been able to go out to the local colleges and campuses and be their PA announcer, be their sound announcer. Not to brag, but I've actually set 3 world records. I've been part of 3 different world record celebrations and setting the records and doing all that. I've worked with celebrities. I've worked with sports athletes. I've worked with everybody. It's all good and well when their jobs are there. But what happens, and what happened was back in March, it was like the rug was pulled out from underneath our feet. It was like nothing we could do about it. Never in a million years did I expect this would ever happen. And it was like, what do we do now? So how do we pivot? How do we change things? And
hold that thought for just a moment for me, if you would, Matt. I want to throw a few comments up here. I think you got a sweet check-in here for you, saying hi to you. I'm assuming this is maybe your daughter.
My lovely daughter, Alyssa, yes.
Love it. All right. She checked in on YouTube and on Facebook. Look at there, man. That's dedication right there. Checking in to say hi to Dad on YouTube and on Facebook. So thanks for checking in, hon. And also, Chris, really good friend of mine, Chris Hinn, said, what we do is relationship-based. Gear and talent are important as well. But when your client knows you're there for them, you're no longer a commodity.
Wow. That's a great,
man. That's super deep. And that goes right into what you were saying.
Yep.
Because I think that transcends over everything in the industry. You know what I mean? And like you said earlier, Matt, a DJ, at the end of the day, we all have a sound system. We all play music. We all put a microphone in front of our face and say stuff.
We all make videos.
Yeah, a videographer, everybody, they all make videos. People that make cakes, they all make cakes. And you brought up, and albeit you worded it a little bit differently, which I really love the way you worded it, by the way. But albeit the reality is that the old school principle of business, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. It's one of the oldest, like principles. And I really think it's a principle that's kind of gotten lost in this generation. And so I appreciate you bringing it up. And I know, Nick, I bring it up all the time. And I think it's a principle that we have to continue to keep instilling in the next generation of DJs, the next generation of videographers, the next generation of wedding planners. You know what I mean?
I just feel like things have gotten very transactional as well. Right. Like, as I've noticed, like in my generation, like it's very transactional. It's like everything's Instagram DM, like DM me for your rates. It's like how do you establish, trust and, camaraderie with just that, so I definitely,
and I think actually you bring up a good point, and I'm going to throw this question to you, Matt, about this, because I think you bring up a really good point, is in a generation, in a society, in a situation where people are go, and it's so easy just to text somebody or DM somebody or send them a freaking Snapchat picture, like, hey, are you guys like whatever, like people just, it's crazy the way people get a hold of you. So throwing this question to you, Matt, and by the way, those of you that are watching, thank you guys for joining us.
Appreciate it.
If you have questions for Matt, if you have questions for myself and Nick, please put those in the comment section there. And we would love for you guys to let us know. Zach says, Matt,
that's my future son-in-law.
Matt, soon-to-be son-in-law, has an amazing podcast. All right, very good. Shout out to you, Zachary. We'll have to check out your podcast,
Definitely.
Man. We're showing love to everybody.
It's all about sharing love to everybody.
That's right. So throwing the question to you, Matt, like, what are some pointers and tips maybe you could give? And we're going to get to, by the way, we're going to talk about N.A.M.E soon. So I don't want anybody, if you're on and you want to hear about N.A.M.E, we're kind of doing this in the reverse. And I apologize, Matt, the conversation just took us that way. But we're going to talk about N.A.M.E real soon. I promise you guys. Thank you guys for watching and hanging in there. So throwing this question at you, I've said it like 3 times and I'm actually do it now. What are some ideas? What are some tips, pointers that you can maybe give to somebody to kind of circumvent that, what are your rates? What are this? What are that? You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first thing, and Dave, we've talked about this before. For those of you that don't know, me and Dave have known each other about 15, just shy of about 20 years.
Yeah.
And that was through our involvement in N.A.M.E. So thank you so much, Dave and Nick, for having me on board and talking about all this stuff. The number one thing I was going to talk about tonight was, how did you pivot since March till now, and how is that affecting your business? Well, there's several different things. One, try not to think of your upcoming events as just clients or a gig. Okay, you should be grateful. You should be humble for every event that comes your way. Thank them immensely. You want to be their best friend. You want to be a family member. You want them to remember who you are. so that a year down the road or 2 years down the road, they're going to come back to you. And it's a simple rule that happened many, many years ago. And it was one of the first things I learned actually from N.A.M.E and other DJ associations was, you know, do people know who you are? Do people know what you do for a living? And do people know that this is what we do? Now, it's a very simple rule. Everyone that comes within 2 to 3 feet contact of you should know that you are a professional DJ, photographer, videographer, photo booth attendant, whatever you do. Okay. You should have a very polished, what they call elevator pitch. People should know, and you should know at all times what you're doing. So it's easy to say that we can be a jack of all trades, master of none. But what is your forte? What is your main event? What is your main goal? My main goal is to be the superior entertainment and provide excellent entertainment anywhere I go. And this can be from a baseball field. I've emceed a baseball field. I'm a PA announcer for a local high school football team. I've gone out into bubble parties before for pregame baseball entertainment for a AAA baseball team. I've worked with the Red Sox. I've worked with the Patriots. All these kinds of things.
Really?
Yeah. And it's all these things that what you do and what you can bring to the event. As you had mentioned before, Dave, every DJ can go out and play music. Okay. And it doesn't matter. You can have, if someone asked me once, how much music do you have in your music library? And one of the last times I went through and bashed all my library, I had at least 175,000 songs just on karaoke.
Right.
Wow.
I have another 45,000 music videos. Okay. I have 2 5-terabyte memory drives in my computers and backup. Very important. Always back this stuff up. Always have backup on this stuff. Okay. And music, I don't know. I've been collecting music since I was 10 years old. My first wedding reception was actually a wedding reception for my step parents, and I DJ'd their wedding when I was a teenager. That's how I started getting into DJing, and I've been collecting music ever since. So it's not necessarily the tools and the gear that you have; it's what you do with it. Mm-hmm. How are you customizing and pivoting and doing these events? So different tips and suggestions: be thankful, be humble, be very grateful for every event that you get, because you know what? And you've heard this saying, I'm sure. You're only as successful as your last event was.
Yeah,
so much.
That's a really great
one. It's true. As much as we try to toot our own horn and beep our own horn, it's not bragging, but look at the last series of events that you did. Did you walk out of there happy? Did you walk out of there knowing that you rocked the party? Do you know that you got the dance floor going? And it's not just necessarily about getting people dancing.
Right.
Nick, you're a photographer. It's not necessarily capturing them and dancing. It's capturing that moment. It's seizing the moment while you're there and enjoying the moment. Seize every moment, live every moment.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, just add real quick, like I know personally as a videographer, maybe any other videographers or photographers out there, I get a feeling when it's like, man, like I got what I needed, it went good, we got all this stuff, and it's like you feel good when you leave the event. So
especially when you do it as a team, the couple of events that you and I worked together this weekend, there were times where I would come to you and say, hey, go, like I wasn't trying to tell you what to do, but I was hey, if you go stand over there, I'm gonna get the audience to kind of do this, and it's gonna be perfect for you to get a shot.
We got some really cool stuff,
right? Which is one of those things where, again, it's not like I'm trying to tell you what to do, but had we not had that behind the scenes conversation, just like Matt was just talking about, like that's a moment that would not have happened. I'm going to go to a couple comments here real quick. Yep, Chris is dropping the truth bombs on us tonight, man. Price assumes that we are all the same. All DJs are created equal, but what allows one to be exceptional is training, networking, and a pursuit of what's possible. Could not agree with that so much more. And again, that's what really this show is all about. Yeah. That's what this is all about, is providing you, I like to say, providing you one more tool in your tool belt to be able to handle and address whatever situation you might be faced with. And
hey, David, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Not a question, actually, a statement.
Yeah.
Are you ready for some nuggets?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is a joke, and this has been going on for years and years and years. If you've ever attended a DJ association or a conference or a convention, you're always looking for that one nugget. Now, what that one nugget is you can go and go. You
Big
can go
says, drop me a 20 piece. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. Drop me a 20 piece.
Yeah. You can go to any DJ conferences and stuff, and I'll admit I've been actually subject to this just as well. You go in there and you sit there and you listen to whoever's speaking. You listen to gentlemen, you listen to women speak, and you go, okay, yeah, that's nothing I didn't know before. You know what? If that is you and that's your style, don't bother going to these places. Don't bother going to conventions. Don't bother educating yourself anymore, because what's going to happen to you is if you refuse to learn, adapt, change, and are flexible, you are a dinosaur. You're going the age of CDs. And I'm saying CDs because CDs are non-existent pretty much nowadays, right?
Yeah.
And Nick, you're a younger guy than Dave and I, but CDs was, Dave, do you remember when he got out their first case of CDs and Rock a Party?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I remember when I dropped it on my foot and about had to, get myself.
Yeah.
I had to get surgery on my foot damn near from dropping it on myself.
Yep. And there's cases and crates, and we used to go out with CDs, and we used to go out way back when we used to go out with cassettes, and then we had vinyl records. We used to go out and DJ with vinyl records.
Oh, cassettes were the worst. God.
Yeah. And it was terrible. It was all the stuff you brought in and all the stuff, and you never knew if you were going to have that one perfect song. Thank God for digital DJing. Thank God for the computers. It made our life much, much easier. But what it does is it gives us the tools, and that's what I want to talk about next. How are you honing your skills? What are you doing? Now, during this time of the quarantine and everything, like I said, it's been 8 months for us here in Massachusetts, and I know other people have been affected just as much. But what have you done with that time? And those are some of the tips and suggestions we're going to talk about was what can you do moving forward? Well, the first thing was don't get down on yourself. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. We are victims to our own fate. You can decide to curl up and say, that's it, I'm done. I'm never going to DJ again. I'm never going to have another event. Or you can say, okay, what can I do moving forward? Me personally, I had to pivot our business instead of being all wedding DJs and car show DJs and sporting events, because those aren't happening in the state of Massachusetts right now. I had to pivot and change different things. So one of the things I did was, and you're going to love this, David. Nick, have you ever photographed a bubble party?
No, but I've done some video of it.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
a bubble party is a professional disc jockey or an entertainer going out and bringing to life bubbles and bubble machines to a local children's school, entertainment, or even a hospital. I jumped on that bandwagon because in April and May, schools are starting to finish up and they wanted to have end-of-year parties, or they wanted to have kids' birthday parties or just graduation parties. I hopped on that and made my bubble party mobile. Rob Peters, a great friend of ours from N.A.M.E as well, and very well-known DJ in the industry, actually launched into bubble parties as well. If you go to bubblepartiesmass.com, you can look at all the great people that are involved in bubble parties, and I'm one of them. The late Raymar, who we love dearly and miss, as you know, passed away 2 months ago. He was also a member of the Bubble Parties family. Arizona Bubble Parties was his tagline. And God bless Ray, and I miss that man. Not a day goes by that I don't think about him, and I'll leave it at that. Terribly sorry about that. But yeah, so what I did is I pivoted to bubble parties and I made it mobile. I was able to transfer my vehicle, and I had bought a generator, a battery powered pack, a generator, and a battery pack. And I went out and I could actually go and pull. You could do it by someone's driveway. You could do a drive-by parade. This also worked out well with atmosphere machines and other effects, as well as a snow machine. If you don't have a snow machine, pick up a snow machine. I know I'm saying that here in New England and we get snow all the time, but have a snow party. Have a bubble party. Rob Peters just changed things and actually now has a UV light, so he's going out and doing glow-in-the-dark bubble parties. Wow. That was just one of the things. Really and that was a godsend for me because it worked out great for 2 to 3 months. So that brought me to June. Well, June rolled around, and I realized that I was missing out on, again, the family entertainment venues, the local bowling alleys, the roller skating rinks, the baseball parks that I did, everything. Those were all canceled and shut down. They closed. So what did I do? I went and said, okay, where do people want to go and what do they want to do in the future now? Hello, it struck me out of nowhere. Movie theaters, a drive-in movie theater. This was huge for us and lasted all summer from June till the middle of October. I was able to go out and do mobile movie nights, drive-in movie theater nights. Mm-hmm. And I got to give a shout out to my buddy over there, Ben Stowe at NLFX. Ben is in Maryland or Minnesota. He is fantastic, and he helped me out. And I actually ordered something. I ordered an FM transmitter so that we could transmit the sound from the projectors to the actual cars. People could actually pull up in the cars. So when I say a drive-in movie theater, I'm talking a legitimate drive-in movie theater. We bought
Big Earn has done a lot of those as well, man.
Yeah.
He's done amazing with this with this movie concept as well.
Bring that up. Yeah.
So it was very good. Worked out great. That worked well until October. But one of the things I did was, while I had all this time to rethink and pivot and change things and how to do different things, the idea came to us of mini-monies. And these are mini ceremonies, okay? In the state of Massachusetts and around places, the capacity is limited for the amount of guests you can have at a wedding, including the family members, everybody. When I say 25 to 50 people tops, I mean 25 to 50 people tops, including the full bridal party, including the parents, including staff, venue members, everything, okay? That was at 100 people. Now it's down to 50 people. Now it's down to 25. Indoors or outdoors, it doesn't matter. In the state of Massachusetts, that's how limited we are. So when you look at that, you have to go, geez, why is someone going to want to pay for a DJ or an entertainer to be at their thing when if you're just playing music, and if you're one of those DJs that thinks you're just pushing buttons, I got something to tell you. Guess what? You're doing a hell of a lot more for that client than just pushing buttons. And that's one of the things with being involved in any local association or national association was look at all the services that we provide to your clients, okay? You might be in event planning. You might be the DJ. You might be the photography. You might be the wedding videographer. You might be a photo booth. You might be, flowers, cake, presentations, event planner. All these things factor into one. So on an average of a typical wedding, say a 4 to 5 hour wedding, that's usually what they go for right here in Massachusetts. I know some places, depending on your culture and different religions, can go longer stuff. Some can go up to 20 hours, even a day. Sometimes, Indian weddings, Hindu weddings can sometimes go to a day
multiple
or 3
days.
right?
Yeah.
So they can go on and on and on. Look at what you are doing as the entertainer for that event. And when people go, geez, how can you do it? You're a DJ, you only work part-time. No, it's not true. You're working full-time because all those hours you're spending during the week on a typical wedding, you should be spending at least 20 to 25 hours planning a 4 to 5 hour wedding reception or wedding event. Let that sink in for a second. So when people go, why are DJs so much for a wedding? Why so much? Because it's not just the wedding. Think about it. You're the first one there, usually, and you're the last one to leave at the end of the event. All that time in between, people come and go, and no offense to caterers or meal planners or venues, but the meal, 2.5 hours. Yes, but they charge for the time that they spend planning, tasting, samplings, and then once the meal comes up, once they're there, once the meal's done, they pack up and they leave. They get the hell out of Dodge. And then it's left to the DJ to entertain all these people. So how do we entertain people right now? If you can get them dancing, that's great. But one of the things I always try to tell people and convince people is, it's not just about getting people up on the dance floor. It's playing multi-generational, and I'll even go a step further, multi-generational, positive, upbeat, fun songs that are going to get everybody involved. Now, maybe grandma and grandpa don't feel like dancing, okay? But let me ask you guys. Nick, I'm not picking on you, but I know you're a little bit younger. When was the last time you went out and danced for well over 3 hours in one night?
Oh, my goodness. It's been quite some time.
Okay, Dave, I know we've partied our ways, and I know we've gone to conferences and stuff, had some fun, but seriously, the average person is not going to be dancing more than 2.5 hours or an hour and 45 minutes to 2.5 hours out of a 5 hour wedding reception. So,
just real quick, all right, hold that thought for just a second. I just want to say hi to Brett. Thank you for checking in, Brett. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. Big Earn said 3 movies a night, 7 days a week. Big Earn's putting in that work with these movies.
Nice.
Killing it, bro.
I love it. Now, go ahead and you have a couple points I want to circle back around to, but go ahead and finish that thought because I definitely want to circle back around to a couple of these things.
I want to thank Big Earn for doing everything he's doing with the movie nights. Fantastic. I saw him in a couple of the other streaming services, the podcast, and congratulations, Big Earn, for capitalizing on that. As for Brett Provo, thank you so much for listening to me. Brett is a former station mate of mine at 94.7 WMS in downtown Springfield, Mass. So thanks for joining us, Brett, as well. And so with the movie nights, there's one thing, doing things, but I wanted to move on to the idea of what did I do during all this quarantine time and things. Stay positive, stay upbeat, don't be a downer, okay? Look how you can progress forward, move forward in what you're doing in the future for your clients, okay? Well, number one thing is you want to be there for them all times, every time. This is important. Follow up. Always stay in contact. Don't be, I know some people, the wedding, the party will be there tomorrow, or I can call them next week. No, I call BS on that. if someone reaches out and even how they reach out to you, whether it's through a phone, whether it's through email, a text, Facebook Messenger, stop what you're doing and reply to that person, even if it's to say, hey, thank you for contacting me. I appreciate it. What can I do for you? Okay. Now, from that right there, the big question is, a lot of people don't know what a lot of people don't know there is that the number one question they always ask isn't, hey, once you've determined that you're available, once you determine that you're there and you're willing to do your event, the first question they always ask is how much? Well, How much for what? How much for an hour? How much for 2 hours? How much for 3 hours? Do you want the whole inclusive package? Do you want 1 day, 2 days? Do you want lights? Do you want uplighting? Do you want karaoke? Do you want projection screens? Do you want video? Do you want video projection? Do you want live streaming? All those things. So you have to know how much to charge for each one of those services events, but you have to know, and here's the big thing, you have to know your strengths and weaknesses. If an event does not fit your clientele or your idea or suggestion of an event, pass on it. Do yourself a favor and do your clients a favor. Pass on that event and pass it on to somebody else. Or here's one for you. Recommend somebody in your local area who is, if not just as good as you, maybe even better than you at something. Know your own strengths and weaknesses. And on that note right there, on strengths and weaknesses, during this whole quarantine time, there's been a lot of time to do things. Always invest in yourself. And this, I don't mean new gear. I don't mean new equipment. I talked to you earlier about how I did the movie nights and how I did the bubble parties and how I was able to transfer in there to a mobile bubble party. But in saying investing in yourself, always be of your best sound, mind, body, and health. Okay? Take care of yourself. Take a few minutes each day to reflect on how the day's going, what's happening, and what you can do moving forward. Okay? Invest in yourself, but also know your strengths and weaknesses as well as your gear. You've had plenty of time now to sit back, and if you didn't have a regular full-time job to go to or work to go to, you had your DJ gear sitting in your office. Did you take it out? Did you dust it off? Did you practice a new skill? Did you learn how to beat mix? Did you learn how to create, organize, or batch your music? Did you continue to add new music in? And this is something very important I want to talk about in terms of how you're spending your money. Reinvest in your gear and equipment. Polish it off. Brush it off. You trade in or upgrade your equipment or gear, or maybe even repurpose it. Repurposing is great because you had gear. How could you use that for a different event? Now, this is real simple. Take your tripod stands, your speaker stand. Okay. Maybe you took the time to repaint them, put a new polish on them, put a new coat on them. How could you use that? Do you know that right now in this office, I have a selfie light, which is put up on a tripod stand that has been repurposed that I had in the office. It was a speaker stand sticking around. I put the selfie light on it, attached it, not a problem. For the bubble parties, I went out. For our Bubble Buddy parties, I went out. I bought a vegetable crate, spray painted it with blue and pink glitter. Remember the Trolls movie soundtrack? Well, that was pretty bright, wasn't it? I sprayed that. I took a vegetable crate. I put an X stand on it, an X mount, a couple of zip ties. I made a brand new base and thing so I could get their publishing instead of from being on the ground up into the air. That same crate can be used for a snow machine. Okay. And not this year, not in 2019. Back in 2019, actually, I did a June themed wedding. In June in Massachusetts, it was hotter than heck. It was 104 degrees outside, and I had a snow machine going, entertaining those kids at an outdoor event.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. How can you purpose your gear? How can you change things around? Like I said, I invested wisely in gear that's going to last you a long time. Now, this is important for videographers, photographers, photo booths, whatever. If you have the latest version of something, chances are it's pretty good. It's going to last you a little bit of time. Okay. Once you have that gear, keep that gear, keep utilizing it, and keep going. But take care of your gear at all time. And this is pretty important. I want to stress people, no matter how tired you are after an event, do yourself a favor and don't just throw your gear into your van or into your car or state, whatever you're driving, van, whatever, cargo van. Don't just throw it in the back and say, I'll get to it 2 days, 3 days from now. Bigger, and I got to give big ups to you, man. If you're doing a movie theater, you know how those screens get. and sometimes you're late at night. You're always the last one to leave the place. You got to take care of that gear. You got to take care of that projection screen. You got to hang it out in your warehouse. You got to dry it off. Otherwise, that stuff's going to go moldy. And when you pull out in a week or so, it's not going to be any good anymore. Take time to clean and take care of your gear. If you take care of your gear will definitely take care of you. Now, as I mentioned before, investing in yourself, we've had plenty of time off to check out our gear, do different things. I'm going to bend over here real quick. And in my office, I always have these things, and I just want to mention real quick. Invest in yourself. Do whatever you can to study certain things. I got right here. Randy Bartlett, you guys familiar with him? 1% Solution. His videos, DVDs, great ideas on how to play an event, what to do with different things. Definitely a big plus. Okay. Take time to read. There is a score, thousands and thousands. Now, maybe that's exaggeration, but there are tons of books on DJing out there or how to get involved in the entertainment business. I'm going to throw a quick plug. I don't work for any of these people, but I've got read books. This one from Bobby Bones. It's a brand new #1 bestseller they had this year. Fail Until You Don't. Bobby Bones from American Idol and the #1 DJ and country DJ right now. Following him as well as station mate as well as mine, I work with this gentleman every single Sunday afternoon or evening, John Tesh. Great book right here called The Relentless. This is a book from John Tesh. He talks about his struggles with cancer and how he defeated it and how he's still progressing. Very interesting read. Another book by him was called Intelligence for Your Life. Okay. Then I'm moving right along next to our buddy Raymar. Can't go any further without talking about a book, Arthur. Raymar, we love you, brother. Brotherly love. Performance Beyond Expectation and Music from My Heart. Okay. Raymar was a longtime member of N.A.M.E, and we're very glad to have him on board until his passing away. Just real quick, a couple of books. Do yourself a favor, invest in yourself, be knowledgeable. But if you don't know something, do your clients a favor and tell them you don't know it, and tell them that you will look it up together with them and you'll find out the information together. Regarding information on music, gotta love this book, guys. If you don't have it, you're missing out. This is called On This Date in Music. Mike Walter. This guy studied for 3 years, touring DJ conferences, touring the DJ Nation. Michael Walter, great book. It's a long read. Every single day he tells you a different tidbit or nugget or 1 or 2 or even 3 knowledge about music. Definitely get yourself that. I know, real quick. Peter Mary, another guy well known in the DJ industry. The Best Wedding Reception Ever. Highly recommend it. Okay. Going back to Michael Walter as well. Running Your Mobile App. Okay. Michael Walter as well. Again, there's scores and scores of books out there. Do yourself a favor. If you want to get into DJing, spend $14 to $20 and buy yourself a book. You'll reap the benefits in the end. Okay. So definitely invest in yourself. Go ahead and definitely, invest in yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of your gear. Take care of your equipment. Pivot. Repurpose your gear. Do different things and how you can move forward by keeping a positive chin up. And that's what we're talking about. And I know we're going to talk a little bit now maybe about N.A.M.E. Expectations.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a couple of comments up here, and I want to just dive into a couple of things here. So, what is this all about, man? What is this Disco Duck thing all about?
Disco Duck. That's a first for me, bro. Yeah. I'm not sure what.
Yeah. All right.
Big Earn, if you wanna expand on that, bro.
Big Earn says, "Don't survive, thrive." So a couple of things I want to kind of go circle back around to that you had talked about here, and I'm going to try to remember them all. Thinking about going to conferences, going to seminars, different things like that. One of the things that really worked well for me, because I kind of tend to agree that at some point, well, actually, let me backtrack for a second. We all know that most people in our industry are type A personalities. Everybody thinks they're the best. Just ask them, they'll tell you, right? It's just the way it is. And that's okay. Like, it's all right to have confidence in yourself. It's all right to have confidence in what you do. And at some point in time, after you've, been around the industry for a while, you've had a little bit of success, you've figured your way of doing things. You know what I mean? Not the right way, not the wrong way, just your way. And those ways work for your customers that are attracted to you and like and trust you, like we talked about earlier, right?
Yeah.
You can have this tendency to almost feel like you know it all, right? And to me, I think it's the biggest trap you can fall into. And one of the ways that you can prevent yourself from falling into that trap is when you go to a seminar, or you go to a conference, and there's conferences in every industry, and there's even like Wedding MBA, and there's different conferences that encompass all of the industries together, which are super cool, right? And when you go to these things, instead of tuning out to what's being said because you think you know it all already, use it more of like a check mark in your head to say, okay, yeah, that's something that they're confirming that, yeah, I'm doing this right, I'm doing this well, or they kind of gave me that confirmation that I feel good about that. So use it as a positive. And then the things that people talk about that you think can help you, take good notes. I mean, I know, to be honest with you, I usually always buy the recordings of all of these things because I'm a terrible note taker, but I'll watch, like during COVID, man, I've been watching so many damn seminars from like 2013 forward, because there might be something that was said in that's still relevant. Like seriously, I mean, business is business regardless. I know that technology changes and things like that, but from a business standpoint, from a relationship standpoint, things just don't change, So take good notes, and then be sure that you're not having this laundry list of changes you're going to make. Just kind of prioritize those changes and say, hey, listen, let's start with one, like A, B, and C. Like, these are the big things I'd like to look at. Maybe it's your social media presence. Maybe it's your website. Maybe it's your, we've talked about workflows and things like that in the past on past shows and things like that. So maybe it's one of those things that you need to really address first and then prioritize down that list. But if you try to just change everything all at once, number one, you're not going to do it. Most people don't. And number two, you're just going to become overwhelmed. And number three, you potentially create yourself into somebody that's not even really you, because you somehow brainwashed yourself into believing that what this other guy said is how you should be doing everything. So I would never discourage anybody from getting any opportunity to listen to anybody who has had any level of success in this event industry, because they're going to have at least one thing to say that could be, we talked about this on our podcast with Dylan. This could be the one lever that you need to pull that will change everything in your business. Yeah,
that's a great point, David. And one thing I will just add to that is education can also be like incredibly humbling too. Yeah. I think that's another, we were kind of just earlier talking about, when I go look up something, or I'm going to try to learn something new, it puts you right back into your place where you're like, man, like, or maybe I don't know everything, or maybe, maybe there are still things to learn. So I always, whenever I feel like I'm getting a little bit, high on my horse or whatever, I always go try to learn something else, because I know there's tons of things to learn. You'll never know everything. I think that's ultimately
absolutely.
It too.
So Greg's checking in. Greg's another board member. Good to see you,
Thanks,
Greg. Checking
Thanks
in.
For being on.
And I think this is a good segue up. Man, we've already almost been going an hour. Hope you guys can stick around, because we got a little bit more. I know this is an important night, so we're trying to, we're trying not to take up too much of your time, but this is good stuff. In the comments, man, if you guys are getting something out of this, if you're learning something from this, please say so in the comments. Let us know you guys are getting something out of this, because we're going to keep going as long as you guys want to hear what we have to say. We're here to help you guys. We're here to just build up your business, build up your confidence in yourself. We know people are going through tough times. Earlier, Matt was talking about all of the shutdowns and all the things that are going on. My pleasure, Greg. Thank you, man. All the things that are going on in different areas of the city, or not even city, country, all around the country. And so, man, if we can just be, if nothing else, if we can just be a support system for you to get to next week. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Get to tomorrow, too.
Yeah, get to tomorrow. Just get to tomorrow. Then we're here for you for that. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's talk a little bit about, and then we got a surprise guest coming up in just a couple minutes here too, guys. We got a surprise guest in the green room waiting for us. So he's been
you want to talk about positive?
He's been very, very patiently waiting, and so we want to thank him for waiting for us, because I know he's been waiting for a long time. And so, Matt, let's talk briefly. And I think we could do a whole nother podcast about this, and we probably will. So let's just kind of high level talk briefly a little bit about N.A.M.E, a few benefits, things like that, and then we'll really, really dive into it another time. But for a sake of because I think the things you were talking about were golden. I think they needed to be heard. I think somebody is going to get something out of them tonight. But in the sake of saving or just being respectful to people's time, let's just talk a little bit about N.A.M.E. And I already know about it. I'm going to turn it over to you because, yeah, go.
Awesome. Thank you. Just on the thing we were talking before about investing in yourself, and we talked about the great books and the services. A lot of those things that I mentioned were actually from N.A.M.E. members or other DJ Association members. So that's why I'm highly recommending and suggest that you look them up. And as you guys were talking before, podcast is the simplest, easiest thing. It's free, it's easy, it's cheap. If something interests you, look into it. And that's actually what led me to N.A.M.E., the National Association of Mobile Entertainers. Years and years and years ago, I had a friend who was also involved in the DJ industry, and she kept urging me for years, you got to go to Pennsylvania and check out this DJ conference. It's held every year in the springtime or fall time, and it's through the National Association of Mobile Entertainers. That DJ was Stacy Zeman, and I'd be remiss if I don't mention her because she's also a great author and writer of books as well. And she strongly encouraged me to check out the DJ associations early on in my career. I joined N.A.M.E. back in, I want to say it was 1999, 2000. And it was actually the late founder, Bruce Kessler, who invited me to join the advisory board, and David and you as well in the past 20 years. It was Bruce who brought me on and strongly encouraged. And it was a passion. It was a drive. We wanted to thrive in the DJ industry, and we had knowledge that we wanted to share with others. That's what the association was born from, and that's where it came from. It was how could we educate other DJs on how to be more professional, how to be more courteous to their clients, how could they be the best DJ that they could have been. And Bruce Bruce didn't hold anything back. If he wanted you to know something, and he wouldn't even say, he'd call me 5 times a day, and it wasn't even a hello. It was, Matt, you got to get a load of this. Did you hear about this? And what are we going to do about it? He was always listening for suggestions or advice on things on how we can improve the DJ industry. And that's where N.A.M.E. came about. My experience with N.A.M.E., again, you're going back about 22 years here. N.A.M.E. actually was started back in 1995, 96 was the actual starting of it. And it was how could DJs come together? And it started very small. It started with a quick introduction of only $99. $99 got you in. And what it did was it opened the doors to several, and I do mean several different benefits, perks, idealizations, and educational services for the DJ Association. N.A.M.E. had several conferences for like 3 to 5 years where we got together and we would have upwards of 150, 200 DJs, all converged in one place for a 3 day worth of education and training. We also attended the Mobile Beat Conference for many years with N.A.M.E. David, we met there a few times.
Yep.
And they had the Mobile Beat DJ Conference. They had the N.A.M.E. Conference. They have the DJ Times, the Atlantic DJ Times show. Then you've got all these other conferences come about. The best thing with joining N.A.M.E., and it's the number one thing, I kind of don't mean to poke it out because today's election day, but there was a famous president who quoted, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." This is the same way that you should look at joining a DJ association, okay? It's cheap and it's easy to join any DJ association. And yes, anybody will take your money, but what are they going to do with that money? N.A.M.E. turns it around. We used to have a 24/7 customer service. You could call anytime. We had full-time staff that was readily available, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And you were able to get benefits. You were able to get discounts on music, travel, hotels, flights, cruises. David, you know about all this stuff. We were involved in many of those. And those things, and the number one thing was there's strength in numbers, okay? There's power in unity. All any association is trying to do is bring together DJs, entertainers. And I should mention, N.A.M.E. has gone to provide mobile entertainers. If you are a photo booth, if you are a ventriloquist, if you're a hypnotist artist, if you are a photo booth owner, if you are a clown, if you have a circus, once you are a member in good standing with N.A.M.E., once you are a member, you can become a member and you can get insurance. This is very important because at all times, and I'm just going to grab a sip of my tea real quick here.
Sure, absolutely. No, I think you're making a lot of good points. And once again, just while he resets there, just to let everybody know, thank you again for joining us. We're talking with Matt Peterson from the board of the National Association of Mobile Entertainers. And those of you guys that are watching, thank you for joining us. If you have questions, if you have comments, please feel free to drop those in the comments section. about any questions you might have. Go ahead, Matt. Sorry about that.
No problem. All over the place. There's comments that we're all over the place. But once you are a member of good standing in N.A.M.E, and again, the rates have never gone up. It's $99 to join. Come on, this is nothing. $99. Avoid a couple cups of coffee for a month, and there's your $99.
Just build it into your business plan. Hold on
Yep.
1 second, Matt. I'm sorry to step in, but I gotta say this. Don't avoid anything. Build this shit into your business plan.
Yeah.
I can't say it any clearer than that. Build it into your business plan, because it's just as important as a microphone. It's just as important as a controller.
Yeah.
It's just as important as a camera. It's just as important as wedding planning software. It's just as important as anything you
Essential
need to
tool
do
for your
your
business.
job.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Education, insurance, knowledge, growth, all of those things are equally as important. So I don't mean to cut you off, but that's just a pet peeve. Not that you said it, but it's just a pet peeve of mine that people excuse this out of their business plan faster than anything else, when this is what's going to separate you from creating a business that you walk away from a year from now, or creating a business that you can literally subsidize, if not replace, your income with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. No, and absolutely. Thanks for pointing that out. And like I said, it's $100. It's simple. It's easy. Once you get on board with N.A.M.E or any DJ association, yes, there are different things that you can look for. Insurance is always a big question, and I fully claim that I am not an insurance salesperson. I don't know anything about it, but it is liability and equipment insurance policy, and basically it's CYA. Cover your assets at all times.
There you go.
And the number one thing here is, don't wait till last second. You've all seen the Mayhem commercials. You've all seen the insurance commercials, cars. Yes, you should have in your business plan. You've got your homeowner's insurance. You've got your auto insurance. You've got your stuff. But what about your music? And this is the big thing that struck me. And for years, I'm like, I don't need the help. I don't need the liability insurance. I don't need the equipment insurance, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? If you wait till you go to an event and say you're loading out for a karaoke event and you just finished up and you got to go back inside, you got to get paid, you got to get your money, you walk out, your car's gone with all your gear. That is not the time to go, excuse my language, oh shit, where's my insurance? Okay.
Oh shit, did you just say shit?
Yeah. No, I said excuse my language. But that is not
that's fine. Go ahead.
That is not the time to go, I need insurance. Think ahead, plan ahead, because you never know. You might need it at the weirdest time. And the thing is, do you want to lose your home? Do you want to lose everything you worked so hard to get and gain? Your family, what's your family going to lose? What are you going to lose? Okay. And this was the number one thing that stuck out to me was I remember doing a bunch of work for a big charitable organization. They hosted weekend events for different fundraisers. Okay. And I remember going, and they asked me one time, they said, okay, you're DJing for 24 hours straight for us. Okay. This type of group, 24 hours. Okay. We're going to have you there the whole day. Okay. Everything's good. And I said, great. But what happens when I have, like, we had a tornado come through one day, just as the event got underway. And I said, what happens if all my gear and equipment get ruined? I said, if that gets lost, they said, well, you can file a claim. I said, with who? They said, with the organization. I said, okay, but you're a charitable organization. You're trying to raise money to fight this thing. How would I get my equipment fixed, or who would be responsible for that? They said, well, you would be. I said, so if I'm out for 24 hours straight and my gear gets soaking wet, or a tornado or something blasts, it gets ruined, it's my responsibility to refill that equipment and get that gear back on. They said, well, you can file a claim and, maybe 3 to 6 months down the road, you'll get your equipment back. I said, that doesn't do any good for me. I said, I got an event tomorrow. I got an event the next day. You have to always think ahead. And one thing here, yes, we all suggest to have backup equipment. Okay. But it's been my observation that unfortunately these charitable events sometimes ask for more than they're actually expecting. so we sometimes go above and beyond and give them all and give them everything. But how are you going to be set up for your next event? Okay. And again, it's CYA, cover your assets at all times. You don't want to go and have to buy another set of gear or speakers because they get ruined at one event and you don't have a backup. You should always have a backup, plan just to cover your own butt and to be there. And the other thing is it's real simple. It's basically a peace of mind. I can't tell you how many times clients have called me up and said, well, what happens if you can't make it there? You know, God forbid something happens to me or a health issue, or I get in a car accident or something. It's nice to know that I can turn around and that N.A.M.E is there to back me up, that I know several thousands of DJs across the nation. Okay. We've even gone into, we're talking Canada, we're talking Hawaii, we're talking Honolulu, all these places. There are DJs there, and they are members of the National Association of Mobile Entertainers that would jump in at one phone call. I can have a DJ to replace me or to fill in if needed. It's peace of mind. It's calming the storm before a storm hits. It's knowing that you are covered and that you have backup. And the other thing I got to be honest about is seriously the networking opportunities. Conferences and conventions are fantastic and great. You will benefit more from the casual conversations you have in the hallway over a cup of coffee, or even just sitting down and saying, hey, I like that idea that you had. Could we talk about it more? And that builds lifelong relationships. One of the other things that N.A.M.E actually has is, and this is something that people don't know about. As I mentioned before, it's what you put into the association that you get out of it. N.A.M.E has a free listing. How many new DJs out there don't want a free listing on a national website advertising their business? This is free. You can put it down there. All you have to do is be a member of N.A.M.E, and we will give your location. We will give your email address. We'll give your phone. It is a free listing on a national website that all you have to do is fill out and submit it. Free website listing. You'll get it immediately. Okay. We talked about the insurance. You're in good standing member. $99 a policy. Cheapest insurance policies around for every state out there. For whatever state you're in, it will cover you. Those guys are real. It's called American Specialty Insurance. They're a new company. Fantastic. We actually switched over to them about, I want to say about a year ago. Reason being because we didn't want to be put on hold. You ever call a place and like, please hold. The next available operator will get to you. We switched to a company that is there 24/7, and you can call them and get an immediate phone call back. And you can also add on a new policy or a new venue. Okay. This is new, happening now in the last couple of years. David, you're familiar with Rhode Island?
Oh, yeah.
You guys might be familiar with a band by the name of Whitesnake that had a major burning down the house, we'll say.
Yeah, literally.
And some of the members of the band were killed, and some of the vendors were killed. Mm-hmm. You can get liability insurance coverage and equipment coverage for an event that happens that is beyond your control. So you can get covered as well. It's peace of mind. It keeps you involved. The other thing that N.A.M.E has is it's called an endorsed professional entertainer. It would be wonderful if we could everybody in the whole entertainment industry could come together and say, there should be some kind of a certification. I think there should be some kind of a seal of approval. Mm-hmm. If you want to take that step, you want to take that one advancement step. And I know, Dave, I think you are, as well as our good friend Mark Burgess, as well as I am. We are endorsed professional entertainers through the association, the National Association of Mobile Entertainers. What that is, think of it as a good housekeeping seal of approval. There is, out of the thousands of DJ companies that we have currently involved with N.A.M.E right now, there's only 33 of us that have taken it to the furthest step to bump it up. We don't want to just survive. We want to thrive. We want to make the DJ industry the best it can be. We want to be the best DJs we can out there. The endorsed professional entertainer is also a certification policy through N.A.M.E that you can get and you can benefit from. So we have that.
So these are definitely a lot of great benefits that come through N.A.M E. I'm just going to throw up a couple of comments here. Greg says it's a lot to have auto insurance. Think about it. Very good point. And it's not a law to have liability insurance, but at the end of the day, why would you not want to? And I go back to the same thing. Like, this should be part of your business plan. Like, it shouldn't even be a question. Like you don't want to wait till the last second until literally buy a cheaper piece of equipment in order to afford to have it in your budget to pay for insurance and so on and so forth.
David, you just made a great point, bro. I mean, I think a lot of us, whether you're a videographer, photographer, DJ, we get caught up in the tech, and it's always changing, right? And it's expensive. So I think it's really easy to get caught up in that, especially if you're a younger business. I think we've all been there. But like you said, I mean, that's the sexy stuff versus like the important stuff, the backbone and the foundation of your business. Here's what
I will say. If you build the foundation of your company right in the beginning,
you'll be able to afford.
You'll be able to afford all of the cool
100%.
things that you want to have. I assure you of that.
Patience
or even
is
something like a quarantine pandemic. 8 months. I'm still here. Still going to be here 2 months from now.
Right. Yep. Exactly. So
and I just want to put this up real quick. Carol is actually the president and owner of N.A.M.E, and just a nice welcome message from her. And thank you for that, Carol. I appreciate you saying that. So basically, guys, just to kind of circle this up a little bit, and I want to remind everybody watching, because I know not everybody watching are DJs, and a lot of our followers are not always DJs, but the things that we are talking about, there is an association, there is an organization, there is something within your industry that has all of these same options, all of these same opportunities. And the point that I really want to really stress here, because sometimes people say, oh, and I've heard this, some people have even said it to me, oh, associations are just like, all they are is like a gateway to insurance. And I really think that that's a sad way to look at it. Okay.
Just the benefits alone, the benefits,
exactly.
The camaraderie, the networking. Again, Dave, you and I have been friends for 15 to 20 years. The camaraderie, the networking, the benefits. I can, this happened because it was a quick phone call between you and me.
Right. And I've actually been able to do events in other areas of the United States.
Other states.
All I had to do was take my backpack with my laptop, and I took a controller with me, and all of the rest of the audio I need. A friend of mine who was a member of N.A.M.E was able to rent me what I needed, so I didn't have to worry about trying to find a rental company. I didn't have to worry about trying to, it's
get
like
your stuff
I was
there.
So I was able to work with another member. It's somebody that I is a like-minded individual, in my opinion, because we're both members of the association, and it was also kind of like a buddy to hang out with when I was in town. So I'm not just in an out-of-town place by myself. So the benefits go way beyond just insurance. The benefits go way beyond just what's on paper.
Yeah.
But like anything else, you're only going to get out of it what you put into it. I always say, the root word of network is work.
Yeah.
And it requires you to put some work into it. You got to put some work into it, but it's well worth it. All right. So we could go on for hours about N.A.M.E, and I think we will in a future episode. But I want to bring on another guest to join us to talk a little bit. And he has, like I said, he's been patiently waiting for us, and we can't thank him enough for hanging in there for us. But we're going to bring him on right now. You guys all know and love him. It is our good buddy, Big Daddy Sean McKee. Can you hear me, bud? We can't hear you. I think you're on mute on your end, bud. You might be on mute. Technology is so fun. Still on mute. We'll get it. We'll get it in just a second. While he's getting that situated, just want to throw another message up from Carol. Want to share your product or company story with our members? Please contact Carol at N.A.M.E Entertainers to do a blog. Absolutely. This is another great thing. That's awesome. They do a blog on a regular basis, which is great.
Yeah.
Big Daddy, let's see. Can we get some audio out of you? Oh, we still don't have it. No. Matt, is your audio still working?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay, so Matt's still up. I just want to make sure Matt's audio is still up. All right, Daddy, we're gonna take you out for just a second. We'll let him get that figured out on that end, and we'll bring him back. Hopefully, we can get Big Dad back in here with us, because he has always got a lot of love and a lot of words of wisdom to share with everybody.
David, I don't mean to interrupt you, but while you're just talking about that, about N.A.M.E and the blog and stuff, definitely gonna give a shout out there to ProMobileDJ.com. Is another place that N.A.M.E is actually involved with. If anybody's interested in writing a blog about how their business is still thriving, surviving, succeeding, or still continuing on in these crazy times, please, you can also submit a blog there. Chase Jewell's doing a great job with Pro Mobile DJ. That is another organization, another benefit of N.A.M.E.
Let's see if we can get Big Daddy back in here. All right, I see the video. Let's see if we got audio. Still got nothing. Still got no audio. Dadgummit, man.
It might be... might have to go out and come back in.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, why don't exit out? We can't hear you, so exit out and just come back in. When we see you come back in on the back end, we'll try to pull you back in. All right, so we'll see if we can get that figured out. That's the beauty of live. Yeah. Live. You never know what's going to happen live. Technology. So it is what it is.
No worries.
Yeah, guys. So man, Matt, I really I really think you dropped a lot of good knowledge and a lot of truth. And at the end of the day, guys, this is the deal. We're all in a position right now, and we're dealing with something that we've never dealt with before, right? Okay, let's just, and it's okay to admit that. It's okay to admit that you might be frustrated. It's okay to admit that you might be scared. It's okay to admit that you might not know how you're going to be able to keep your business afloat. And the worst thing you can do is keep that to yourself. And the worst thing you can do is not share that with somebody else. And so this is why, to me, it's so important to be a part of an association, part of a group, part of a community that you can trust and you can go to, and you can say, listen, man, and Nick, you and I do this with each other all the time. I mean, obviously we're not like doing sessions on live friggin', the internet about it, but you and I talk to each other all the time about our frustrations and struggles. And, it doesn't matter. I mean, hell, just because I've been in business forever doesn't mean that I don't get scared. It doesn't mean that I don't get nervous sometimes.
Right. And there's a certain catharsis that comes with just talking about it, whether it's a close friend or whether it's with a community, you know what I mean? A group of people, whether that's an association or, wedding business growth or whatever. However you can express yourself and talk about it is going to help you in the long run for sure. Because I know that when I bottle things up inside, it doesn't go. And I know we had our struggles when we were first getting into COVID and everything like that. But it
definitely opens up a door for communication. And that's one of the big benefits of belonging to an association, is knowing that you're not alone. There's people out there you can talk to. You can reach out through phone. You can reach out, like I said, a simple voice message, a DM, a personal message, any of those places out there. Just say hi. But as we mentioned before, way back when, whether you voted or not today, hopefully you did, but tomorrow morning, let's all wake up bright and cheery, chipper-eyed, and say, hey, you know what? I still love you. I respect you. I admire you. I know you. You can still be respectful, kind, and humble. And that's the gentleman that's trying to join us right now, Sean Big Daddy. If there's any words that I could use to say him, is just love. The guy just oozes love. And hopefully he'll get on back in.
Yeah, let's see if we can get him back in. Can we
hear me?
Yes. We can hear you.
Hey, Big Daddy, I love you.
I love you too, Matt. How are you, baby?
Doing well, thank you.
Big Daddy, first of all, let me just say thank you so much. You have been so patient listening to us talk tonight, and man, we are well over an hour into this thing, and I'm loving it. I'm loving what we're talking about here.
Good talk.
I want to get, Big Daddy, I want to get your thoughts about what you've heard us talking about. Just share some love with everybody that's watching right now, please.
All right, here's the deal, guys. We all know what is going on. We've all known what's been going on since probably even before March 1st. I'm a guy that normally does probably around 300 to 310 events a year with everything I do. This year, at the end of this year, I will have done 40 gigs, 40 events, whether it be weddings, whatever the case may be. We all know that's going on. You've got a support system behind you, folks that are out there listening and whatever, and my friends on the other end of this. Nick, by the way, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. And,
yes, likewise.
And Davey, you always know, brothers for life. And Matt, same
Yes, sir.
thing.
Yep.
The thing you got to remember is everything you post on social media better be positive, because in the end, after all this is over, people have short memory spans, and they're going to remember. Listen, guys, we're all losing events. We're moving them to this. Right now, I've got 120 of only weddings next year on top of everything else I'm going to be doing. Make it positive. Stop with the poor, pitiful me junk. We're all in the same storm. We may not be in the same ship, but we're all in the same storm.
Powerful. Wow.
And the only thing you remember is, and I'm a pest, and Davey knows this. You need it. I got 2 big ears and 2 big shoulders. I will call. You can call me anytime because my phone is always on. Just ask my kids, because I'm a pest. But the education you can get, you got nothing else to do at night. You're sitting staring at 4 walls. Get your ass online. Excuse my language. Well, you're going to hear worse in about 10 minutes anyway.
Bring it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Once I get rolling, you can't stop me. But I promise
you got
John
no
Young,
limits here, baby. Come on.
Yeah, but I promised John Young, I would try to do my best not to cuss. But here's the deal, guys. The more you know, the better you're going to be down the line. That's number one.
Yep.
Number two, if you don't think you can learn, get out. Get out.
Yep.
I'm done. I'm tired. And all right, let's get into some serious stuff now. And people hang me because of this. We all
always
have the same,
be willing to learn. Always be willing to learn.
We all have the same speakers, whether they're the same brand. No. We all have dry ice. We can get it. We all have screens. We all have this, that, the other thing. They're going to remember that for the wow factor for about 30 seconds.
Oh.
They're going to remember how you made them feel before the event with everything that's going on right now. You've got to go in, whether it's 5, 10, 15, 1,000 people. You better give them the best you can, because that is going to set you apart. I've had 3 weddings in the past 4 months, and every one of them says, we've never seen anybody as relentless as you to try and get people to smile and to be happy. I'm not giving up until I say goodnight. Whether you want to sit there and tap your feet, sing a song, whatever the case may be, you're going to remember my fat butt by the time this thing is over. Because I'm going to give you something that nobody else will. I'm going to make you smile. I'm going to make you laugh. And I'm going to make you forget everything that's happening outside that door for 4 hours. We need that now more than ever.
Yeah.
Listen to, and we've got the virtual stuff like I did for John Young, the one I did with Jordan and Jamie and Mike Langsner. I've got another one coming up, and you got to watch this one. You got to see this one. 5 of us. Jeffrey Scott Gould, who's one of the best in the business, video-wise, DJ-wise, everything else. Jordan, Jamie, myself, and Mike for DJ Times. This year has been one of the years that I have lost, as of last Wednesday before, losing one of my dearest friends in the world, Mr. Richard Mills from New Zealand. I've lost 23 people in the past 11 months.
Wow.
It's not all COVID. It's this, that, the other. One of my best friends in the world, Mike Walter, when his pop passed, my heart just went into my feet. And people ask me, why did I go down to visit Mike less than 24 hours after his dad passed? Because he needed it. Why do I call people whenever? I can tell by your posts. I can tell by whatever. When you need it, I'm there.
Yep. I can attest to that.
Yeah, we all need that to also for our clients. Because these folks are having to change their places, change their things, 3 and 4 times. And now, Matt, what you said in the beginning, Connecticut just went into another shutdown. We are now. Yep, we're at phase 2.1 because of a few venues that just don't like to obey the rules. There's a place in New Haven that had a party for 4.
That was brutal. I've worked there many times before, and I should mention that me and Sean are actually close by, and you see these big places, and COVID doesn't discriminate. It's the same thing, and we've talked about it before as cancer. It can be, you can be 5 years old, you can be 13, you can be 35, you can be 75. It doesn't matter. If it's your time and it's your place and you're in the place that's there, and I should mention one of these things. Seriously, if you have not been tested, or if you have not been tested yet, go get a test. Don't try to push it and go to the next place. There was 200 people at this wedding and none of them were wearing masks. If you do that or you post an event, you're going to get shut down.
Here's the deal. The one thing that these people don't want to see is smiling, happy people on a dance floor. Guys, get over yourselves.
Yep.
Get over yourselves, my friends, because you know what? No matter what, you're going to pack that dance floor by playing Celebration. These people want to get up and they want to celebrate life, and they're not allowed to. So if you're going to, and I'm not, listen, I can get people to dance in a heartbeat. But you know what? People don't want to see that. I'm not putting up happy faces. And yeah, I did a wedding 2 weeks ago. State troopers and military people from Maryland. And yes, they danced, but they all had their masks on. There was 48 people. They stay away from me. I put a 6-foot table in front of me. Nobody comes near me. If they have a request, you text me.
Shout out to our sponsor, RequestNow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be smart. And these big venues like the one in New Haven, 425 people with no mask, all liquor, and a quote-unquote family party. Well, they just shut down the state again because of that.
Yep.
Play by the rules, folks. The more you play by the rules, the quicker we're going to get over this.
Every action has a reaction, and you got to think smart.
Some good stuff, man. Ernie says, I'm literally listening while walking through Disney, soaking in these nuggets. Love it. Man.
Hey, Ernie. Appreciate
I got
you, brother.
a question.
Thanks, Ernie.
Ernie, I got a question for you. How is it down in Orlando at Disney? I know that they're really strict with this, that, the other thing, and they just laid off 28,000 people between Disney World and Disneyland. You know, but guys, we're going to get through this. Know that you've got people here. You got Davey, you got Nick, you've got Carol, you've got Matt. And we lost one of the greatest people in the world. My dear brother, I was able to chat with him when he first went in. I was able to chat with him right before he went on the ventilator. And a few, my boy Raymar. Raymar was one of the greats. And, we lost Richard Mills, a wonderful DJ from New Zealand who lived life. He was here 14 months longer than he was supposed to be. He had stage 4 brain cancer and lived for 3 years with it. Wow. And y'all if y'all got nothing else to do but bitch, stay offline. Hug a tree, whatever you got to do. But right now, as we get into I hug trees all the time. My neighbors think I'm nuts, but that's okay, because I am. But the thing I try to get everybody to understand is we're all in this together. We all can help everybody. There really is no competition if you think about it. Because there's only one Davey. There's only one Matt. There's only one Nick in the photography business. There's only one of you. And when I get the things, when I'm talking to folks, this guy says he can do the same thing you can do for $500 less. I beg to differ. I'm sorry. And my next question is, why did you call me then? Why didn't you sign them right away? Well, we've seen you. I said, have you seen them? No, but I said, guys, here's the deal. Sign with them because you're all about price. You're not about what I'm here for. No more than 12 hours later, I'm getting a phone call. And guys, you're not getting a $500 discount. You're getting my price. And now more than ever, because the small parties that Matt can do, 10, 15 people, whatever it is. Wherever we can do it. Yes,
it's still a celebration.
It's still a celebration, and we're going to give them maybe a price that we wouldn't have given them before, but you don't want to kill anybody right now because people ain't making no money. Thank God I'm older than dirt. I am older than almost Fred Flintstone. Just ask my kids. But I'm able to sustain, and I don't go out anywhere. The only time I go anywhere is to go see my grandkids or go work out and beat up Flo's hands. But guys, everything that Matt said and Dave says and Nick says every time they're on a podcast, friggin' listen. Open your ears. Open your mind. Open your hearts. We need this now more than ever. And Carol, God bless you for putting up with the likes of me as far as name goes and everything else. And just remember, guys, we are all in this together, and it's all about LOVE, and none of anything that we do is about us. It's all about them. Because without them, there's no us. Done.
That's the truth.
Man, that is awesome, man. Thank you for dropping that.
Absolutely.
And Ernie said customer service is top notch over the top with the safety measures. It's incredible. So it sounds like they're doing some great stuff.
Ernie, stay safe, my brother. Ernie, stay safe. Be well, babe.
All right, you guys, we're going to go into the last segment of our show. And if you've watched our show before, this is always fun. Big Daddy, can you stick around for the last segment with us?
Where am I going? I'm in my apartment.
Just hang on.
Just hang out.
Listen, babe. Hold
on.
So
this is brought to us by our good friends powered by Poddex. If you guys are ever looking for conversation starters and just ways to really have a great conversation at an event or in a networking, situation or anything all like that, check out Poddeck's. Really cool. So basically the way this works, me and Nick are going to ping pong back and forth asking some questions. And Matt and Big Daddy will be asking you guys. For the people that are watching, of course, you can type your answers in comments into the comments section, and we'll share those as well. So, Nick,
I'll go ahead and get started.
I'll let you go first.
All right. Yeah, this is a really good one, actually, and kind of pertinent to me, being a younger guy. But what piece of advice would you give to college graduates who want to become entrepreneurs?
What piece of advice would you give to college graduates that want to become entrepreneurs? Matt, I'll let you go first.
The first thing is just hang in there. Be persistent, be consistent, always be on the lookout for new education, always be, as it was mentioned earlier, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, always be listening, always be taking it in, and don't think that you know everything. Continue your education and keep moving forward.
That's great.
Love it. Big Daddy, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah. It all depends on what you want to be an entrepreneur in. And Matt, that goes along with what Matt, educate yourself, check out and see what's hot right now. Check out and see what it is. And if it interests you, go for it. But do not do it half-assed. If you're going to do this, if you're going to become an entrepreneur, you better be willing to rock the socks off and put in the hours. Because, what we do as entertainers, I've been in the entertainment business for, I don't even want to, about almost 50 years. In one way or another. If you're going to do this, college education be damned. You have got to put in the work. You got to put in the hours, and you got to ask questions. Don't be afraid to take a step back and go, okay, what am I doing wrong? Or, okay, is this going to take longer than I thought? If it takes longer than you thought, work your ass off to get to it. That's all.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's a really good point. And I would even circle back to that, in myself. The one thing for me that I think has been the most beneficial up to this point in my very short time would be the work. As you guys just mentioned, I mean, putting in the work and, not seeing any reward for a really long time. And it's kind of scary, but it's just what you got to do to make it for sure.
Yeah. So we got a couple of comments from our viewers here. Have a solid business plan. I think that's a great one.
Yep.
Melissa says, love what you do.
That really helps.
Yeah, I think that's important.
Amen.
Yep.
Amen.
Greg says what she said too.
Definitely.
Love that. I think for me, it's just, realizing that there are very, very few new ideas out there. There are very few things that you're going to just all of a sudden come up with. And you have to understand that this world owes you nothing. Nobody owes you anything.
Amen.
Anything that you want to have in life, you better be willing to earn it,
sacrifice
with your life.
Yeah. That's whoa. Say that again.
Anything that you want in life, you better be willing to earn it with your life.
Yeah.
I'm not saying put yourself in danger and all that shit. But what I'm saying is that if it's not worth grinding for, if it's not worth fighting for, if it's not worth staying up all night when you have to for, if it's not worth eating dog shit for, then it's not worth doing.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, just to get personal for a short second, man, I've lost relationships. I've lost friends. It's not saying you should be cut everyone off, but it's there's certain people that are going to support you, and there's others that it wasn't ever for them. So that's definitely a thing that you have to be willing to kind of incur too.
Yep.
One more quick thing about that, Nick. That's awesome, and Davey, outstanding. When you wake up in the morning, how do you feel about what you're going to be doing? That's the big. Are you feeling friggin' great? Are you feeling, oh my God, I'm exhausted. Do I want to do this anymore? It doesn't matter. Guys, I'm going to be 66 years old in December. I wake up every morning and thank God that I've been able to do what I do. And I'm still able to do what I do positively and make somebody's life a positive. And it has helped having 5 grandkids. They are my why. You have got to, as a young man, you have got to understand that this shit takes work. It really does. And if you're willing to put in the hours, and if, again, Nick, welcome to my family. If you need an ear, Big Daddy's always here. You got to have that backup system. You got Davey, you got Matt, you got me. you just got to know that your support system is going to help you.
Yeah.
You know, listen, there's young folks out there that think that love you, Carol. The one thing about some of these younger kids, they think they're entitled to something. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, you ain't entitled to shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language. You ain't entitled to anything if you don't work for it. If you work for it and show everybody that you've got it and you want it so bad, that's when you're going to feel the great part about it.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that 100%. And I mean, I kind of I've been feeling that way a little bit recently, starting to work again. Like I just remind myself, I'm like, man, I'm so grateful to be doing this. I mean, like I have to remind myself all the time, like, dude, you get to do what you love doing, like for, you know, you have enough to support yourself to do that. Like that's absolutely incredible. So
Nick, if you don't mind, how old are you?
I'm 25 years old.
Look at what bigger and said my nipples got hard.
He's a youngin'. He's a youngin'.
Yeah, I'm a baby.
Take advantage of the time you have right now. Take advantage of the time you have. Because of the pandemic, you're seeing this world in a totally different way.
Yeah.
And you got to be patient. That's a big word. As they say, patience is a virtue. Right now, that is the biggest virtue you can have. Be patient. It will come to you.
Yeah.
You want it? You want it that bad? Joshua, love you. If you want it bad enough, it'll come to you. I swear to God.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Well, I got another question for you guys. All right, so Big Daddy, we'll go to you first, and these should be quick answers for this one. Is there anything on your to-do list that never gets done?
Saying no.
Ooh.
Because I say yes to everything.
I'm right there with you. I got the same thing. I just can't do it.
And
I have a hard time saying no as well.
I can't say no. And I'm like, after I help or whatever it is, I go, what were you thinking? But another thing is, there's never enough time in a day. And I'm taking advantage of that. Like I said before, my family means more to me than anything else in the world. Right now, I have the time to spend either on FaceTime or go up to see them, whatever the case may be. That when I get back to being busy, I'm never going to have enough time for that. I don't want to miss that anymore.
Yeah. Powerful. I got a question for you guys from one of the decks here. What kind of shower ideas do you get? So maybe in the shower where you have ideas. I know one thing that resonated with me was I get tons of video ideas. Nothing weird. Nothing make it weird.
Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Yeah.
Where's the mute button? Where's the mute button?
Yeah.
You better hurry up and mute Big Daddy on this one.
I mean, honestly, like I get video. I'm not even gonna lie. Maybe it's kind of weird or not, but man, I get my ideas for some videos like in the shower. Not gonna lie.
All right. So here,
are we moving on? Was that an inappropriate question?
Nothing inappropriate about that whatsoever.
Listen, as big as I am, trying to get in and out of the shower is all I got. Just get my ass in the shower and get my ass out the shower. That's all I got. Because if I don't want to fall down or anything, being as old as I am, if I fall down, we're screwed.
All right.
Keep it PG. Carol, have you met me? Nice.
Greg says no comment. I'm
gonna do another question.
Opened up a can of worms for real.
Can I go ahead and just that's a mulligan. I'm gonna grab a mulligan.
Throw one thing out there real quick, Nick. Not to interrupt you, but I'm reminded of a great line that I actually used, or actually Raymar used when he introduced me at one time. I think it was in Chicago at a N.A.M.E conference. And it was the funniest thing. He was introducing me and telling all my accolades of who I was and where I'd been and where I'd spoken. He goes, and as he looked around the room, and this definitely goes against the networking and camaraderie of being in the DJ associations and industry, he goes, and I bet there's no one in this room that Matt hasn't slept with. Now, when he said that, what he meant was, if you've ever gone to these DJ associations, inevitably you always end up with a group of like 5 DJs, 7 or even 10 DJs, as you're sharing the room and board. And Dave, we've slept together before, and not slept together, but in the hotel room. I've been in the same hotel room, right? So let's just clarify that. But I just think about that as like sometimes it's the dirtiest things that come to mind, and it's like another great time with Raymar. I remember it was one of the seminars he's talking. He's like, "Let me be the first one that if God strikes me down," and then all of a sudden the intercom broke over the house intercom. And it was like,
God, what did I
hello.
learn?
And he's like, was that God calling?
All right.
The things that experience are great.
I'm going to mulligan this question here.
Bigger.
Yes, you are, my brother. Yes,
All right.
you are.
All right.
I'm gonna start with a new question. I guess that kind of went south. All right.
Look at this. Who was the spoon?
Oh jeez.
It all depends what
I'm
day
gonna move
it
on
was.
here. What about the future are you most excited for?
What about the future are you most excited for? That's a good one.
All right,
Matt, you go.
I'll say, yeah. Right off
Matt,
the cuff, the future. The future. What's ahead? How do you?
What do you get
see
excited
yourself in
about?
the future? Just the whole thing. Like I said, as much as we've pivoted and changed and how we're adapting to things, it's a whole new world of entertainment out there. How are we pivoting? What can we do? And what is tomorrow going to bring? I don't know.
Yeah.
But the future, it's looking bright. And here's the number one thing. And Big Daddy, you're going to love this. DJs will return. We will return. The entertainment industry will come back. And right now, Nick, you're a young guy. You're only 25. You're going to see things beyond your wildest imagination.
Well, and I think that stands true for the whole event industry as well too. I think the beauty of if there's nothing else to hold on to, the beauty of the event industry and being a part of the event industry is people like to celebrate. People like to get together and celebrate. And that might look differently and that might feel differently.
It will.
But you will all, as long as you're in this industry and as long as you learn to adapt and as long as you learn to accept and as long as you learn to be a part of what the industry gives you and make the best out of whatever that is, you'll always have the opportunity to do stuff. Greg says when stuff opens up, it's going to be big. Yeah. Big Daddy, you got anything to add to that?
Can't wait.
Here's the big thing. You're going to notice that the big 200 to 250 person weddings will be a thing of the past. That's number one. Because right now, the people have lost money, the deposits, whatever the case may be. People are digging the fact that they've got these tents, these beautiful tents with this, that, the other thing, and you're going to see more virtual stuff. Mark my words. You're going to see the 100 people that they can have there that are local, and then the people that don't want to travel across the country that would have before won't now. So you can, I don't like the word pivot. I hate that word. Enhance your entertainment experience to virtual stuff where people can be sitting in California or Wisconsin and be a part of somebody's wedding in Massachusetts or Connecticut or Florida. That's the exciting part. You have to learn to listen. Davey's doing wonderful. Nick, you're doing, Matt, everybody, whatever you're doing to enhance your customer's experience, now more than ever, you gotta be willing to pay. It's just like as a young entrepreneur, the things that you're learning now, Matt, myself, and Davey, who've been in the business for a long time, are relearning. We're re-educating, because if we don't, guess where we're going to be? In the back, watching everybody roll by us. Simple.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
A great point.
All right, I got one more before we wrap. Man,
Sure.
we've almost gone 2 hours tonight, man. This is amazing. For those of you guys that have been with us through this whole thing, thank you, man. This is so awesome.
Thank you.
This is so awesome.
Absolute pleasure.
So I got one more. I've got one more, and I think this is going to be a good way to kind of wrap the night up, and then we're going to let everybody get to watching what's going on in the world, because we can't ignore what's going on, and today is obviously a very important day.
I'm watching Remember the Titans. That's all I got to say.
There you go.
Learn about everything
awesome film.
Remember the Titans.
Yeah,
all right, so here we go. I'm going to throw this out to all three of you guys, and then of course I want the people that are watching. We've got people still on watching with us. We want you guys
those answers in there,
to put the answers to this into the comments. And for those of you, by the way, those of you that are going to watch the repeat of this, because we get a lot of people actually that watch the replay of this and watch a repeat of this. Comment, guys. Just because you're not on the live with us doesn't mean we're not paying attention to your comments. So please do. And just one more shameless plug to our YouTube channel. If you're not following us on YouTube, go to Wedding Business Growth and please follow us on YouTube. It helps us out so much. And we want to continue. We want to continue to keep spreading this love. Ernie says.
now.
Ernie says he's watching Empire Strikes Back. Oh, and that reminds me, Twitch too. Ernie is watching us on Twitch. If you're not following us on Twitch, follow us there too. All right, so here we go.
Big Ern.
Final question. I'm going to throw this one to Matt, and then Big Daddy, and then Nick. You can bring us home with this one. All right. So, Matt, when people look in your eyes, what do you hope they see?
Whoa.
Wow. When people look in my eyes, what do they see?
What do you hope they see?
Well, they say that the eyes are to the
windows to the soul.
Windows to the soul.
Mm-hmm.
Again, same thing. When they look into my eyes, I hope they see hope, sincerity. I hope they see promise. I hope they see trust. It's all those things. That's what I stand for. And I hope that when somebody takes a look and sees me, that they look at someone who they can respect, who they can agree with, get along with, and reassurance that what I say is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to bring the best entertainment to their event.
I love it.
Yeah.
Got a couple of comments coming in here. Ernie says same thing. Look into my eyes, you see reassurance.
It's awesome. Greg
says the real me. That's powerful. I love that. I love that. Oof. Big Daddy, what you got?
Love, positivity, real, and know. The big thing is looking into someone's eyes. Don't look above them, around them, or below them. Look people in the eyes when you are talking to them. Because if you're making it look like you're looking at them, but looking above or around, whatever, that is the most insincere thing that you can do. When they look in my eye, when you teach your kids this, shake their hand, whatever, look them in the eye when you talk to people. Do not look around them, because when they look into your eye, they're going to know within the first 30 seconds of meeting you whether they can trust you and whether everything you say is real. For me, looking in my eyes, you're going to see love, you're going to see real, and you're going to see as many smiles as I can possibly give you.
That's awesome.
I love it.
That's
Nick,
so great.
Nick, what you got?
Well, one thing I will say, just to add to that point, is it really, it's just authenticity for me is so important. I mean, and just compassion. I mean, honestly, for me, those are the two things. I like how Greg in the comments said, the real me. I hope you see someone who's authentic and someone who genuinely, is compassionate and cares about you, for sure. So
yeah.
Amen.
Man. Well, I think this has been a phenomenal night. Carol says, thank you, Nick and Vince. I think she meant Nick, for making this a success. Thank you for your time, experience, knowledge, and love for the industry. We could start calling you Vince.
Nick, we just changed your name. Nick,
Vince.
we just changed your name to Vince. John, you're in.
All right.
It's
Vince.
I think it's the stash. I think the stash is why
makes
you should
think Vince.
The stash makes people think Vince.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stick with that.
It's Vince.
Listen, guys, honestly, thank you so much for watching our show. We love doing this for everybody.
Yeah.
We love having guests on like Big Daddy, the Vince Stash. I love it. We love having guests on like Matt. Thank you, Matt, for being on with us. Thank you, Big Daddy, for being on with us.
Appreciate it, guys. Seriously.
I got to be honest with you guys. There's a lot of things that I love. There's a lot of things that I love. Now we're getting all kinds of nicknames for you. Vinny Boombats. Look at that one. I like that one. Look at that one. Carol says, sorry, long day. I feel your pain, Carol. I feel your pain. No, but seriously, dude, there's a lot of things that I do during the week that I love doing.
Yeah.
This hour, or now 2 hours, we're going on tonight, but this time of my life, honestly, and I'm looking dead in the camera when I tell you guys this is one of my favorite things that I get to do every single week.
Yeah.
And I love being able, I don't care if we have one person watching or 1,000 people watching.
Yeah.
I love that we get to do this.
It's it's therapeutic for sure.
I love that we have a chance to help somebody who maybe is not willing to raise their hand and say they need help, but they know in their heart they do.
If they're listening, it doesn't matter if they answer a question, put up a question. If they're listening, you got them, kid. You got them.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Yep. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. One more time.
Appreciate it, guys.
Big Daddy, Matt, thank you guys for being on with us tonight. N.A.M.E, thank you for helping us put this together. All of our DJ friends out there, if you're not familiar with N.A.M.E, if you're not a member of N.A.M.E, please go check it out. If you're not a DJ, whatever part of this industry you're in, find out what there is representation-wise for your industry. And if you're not a member of it, here's my challenge to you. Join it for a year. Join it for a year if you've never been a member. If you don't feel like I'm going to put myself in trouble here. If you don't genuinely feel like you didn't get value out of being a member of this association for a year, you come back and talk to me a year later, and we'll figure out how to settle up the fact that you didn't feel like you got something out of it. That is how serious. No, that's how serious I am about this, man. People got to take this shit serious, man. I'm not kidding around, dude. This is the time of our lives to be so serious about our businesses because this is the first thing that I said to myself when this COVID stuff really hit seriously. I said the number one goal we all should have, and I've told you this 1,000 times, haven't I? Get to the other side of it. If you get to the other side of this,
you can pretty much get through anything.
You're golden.
Yeah.
You're golden.
Yeah.
Events are going to happen. Oh my God.
But you got to be ready for those events when they come around. Yep.
What beard and mustache products does Vince use?
Yo, I'll get with you. I'll get with you after the show.
I'm trying to be all serious over here, and friggin' Big Ern just drops the funny bombs on us. All right, cool. All right, guys, listen, we really gotta let y'all go. Yeah. Thank you so much. Hey, next week, we haven't done this before, and we should start doing this.
Yeah.
Next week, we're gonna be joined by luxury event planner, and don't let that scare you, but luxury event planner Andrea Eppolito. And if you don't know who Andrea Eppolito is, look her up, okay? And I promise you're going to want to be on with us next week. You're going to want to watch next week. She is amazing. The events that she does is amazing. And this is what I also like about Andrea, and the time that I've had to talk to her and get to know her, is even though she works in a luxury market, she's not one of these stuck-up people that you feel like is too above what the normal rest of us are doing, and unapproachable and stuff like that. She is going to drop some truth bombs and knowledge bombs on you guys that is going to be applicable to whatever market of this industry that you want to cater to. All right?
Perfect.
Thanks, everybody.
Whatever you want to. So, real quickly, Carol says, "You are not in trouble. We are proud to honor your challenge." Look at that.
That's awesome.
Look at that. Thank you, Carol. That is amazing. And then Big Ern says, "Wow, you brought big guns tonight and every night. Amazing job, guys. Thank you, Ern." So, with that, thank you, guys. We appreciate y'all joining us. Thank you one more time, Matt and Big Daddy, for being on with us. We will see you guys next week. Talk to y'all later.